Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm your host, Veteran Mountain Man, and you know what? It's time to do another one finally. I'm sorry I haven't done one of these in a while, but we are going to reveal the new Cultural Marxist of the Month. And before you get all concerned, be aware, I am very much aware that the month is very early on. However, the individual I have selected has truly taken the cake. And I'm going to make that case here in just a second. But the one, the only, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is going to be our cultural Marxist of the month. That's right, the great AOC, Alex from the Bronx, her very self, is our cultural Marxist of the month. And this is why. So earlier this week, she released her new Green Deal. Now, this is on top of the fact that she won her election on the concepts of the intersectional stack and the concepts of victimhood culture, which are very prevalent in the cultural Marxist culture. Because she is a minority, she is a woman, she is a socialist, and she comes from a poor neighborhood. Well, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. She didn't come from a poor neighborhood. She was actually raised in a very affluent neighborhood in New York State, one of the richest neighborhoods in New York State, to be precise, where the median net worth of a family is $4.3 million, which is far exceeding the $400,000 in the United States. That's the average. And while she may not have been rich in this neighborhood, she still took advantage of all of the capabilities that entails. See, living in certain communities dictates what you have access to. And when you've got a community where the median household worth is over $4 million, you're going to see a different caliber of school teacher. You're going to see a different caliber of public service and amenity because of the taxation and the distribution programs and the charity and everything else. It's one of the reasons that rich neighborhoods look really rich. It's because a lot of money has been spent on them. Whereas poor neighborhoods look really poor because relatively little money per individual has been spent on that. And so there is a disparity there that is created. And her taking advantage of that disparity, actually in the cultural Marxist stack, would make her privileged. Now, let's take her new Green Deal. Her new Green Deal would effectively cut the American economy off at the knees because it would give fairly uncontrolled regulatory authority to a congressional committee in the House of Representatives. They would have control over emissions. They would have control over wage distributions, over green taxation, over setting up conditions and mandates for energy sources, over social and economic justice, and everything else. She basically wants to take the American governance system and fundamentally alter it through the passing of a law. Now, she's obviously not very bright. See, the regulatory authority in the Constitution for bureaucracy and that nature is actually directly given to the executive branch. And the oversight authority of the executive branch is given to the Congress. Congress doesn't have oversight authority on individual businesses. It was one of the reasons I found the social media hearings of Facebook and Twitter and Mark Zuckerberg to be kind of foolish and off-putting is because Congress doesn't actually have regulatory authority in that capacity. Now, they can pass laws giving power to the regulatory authority, to the executives to carry out, but they can't actually regulate those organizations. They have to pass a law to regulate those organizations. But AOC wants to take that all away and give direct authority to Congress to regulate. So she hits the cultural Marxist identity here completely. She wants to tax people into privilege. She is using the cultural Marxist identity politic victimhood stack erroneously in some cases. She is pushing for wealth redistribution under the guise of green concepts. And she has a fundamental failing of the understanding of how our government works. And so all of these together make AOC our cultural Marxist of the month. And I know some of you are going to be like, well, why are we talking about AOC? You know, she's just one Democrat in the Congress. Well, if she hadn't been pushed to the forefront by the media and by her own campaign strategy and by the DNC themselves as the new face of the Democrat Party, I wouldn't be talking about AOC. I would be ignoring her. But the truth is that she is now taking center stage. And when you take center stage, you open yourself up to this kind of criticism. And the truth is what she's trying to accomplish is illegal, it's immoral, and it will fundamentally destroy our nation if it's allowed to go unchecked. And yet this is what the Democrat Party has been looking for. So, AOC, you are the new Karl Marx, at least under a lot of people's minds. And you have dethroned the old Karl Marx of America, the senator from Vermont, the Bernie. So congratulations. And congratulations for being the cultural Marxist of the month. Well, I want to thank you all again for joining me. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, or thumbs up and subscribe on BitChute. Also, don't forget to check me out on my other social media sites down below, as well as check out my Redbubble and Teespring stores and help support this channel. Thank you all again, and have yourselves a beautiful day.